One of these days, if my ego ever gives it room, I'll let you welcome everybody to the show. But until then, welcome to another edition of Realities May Vary. This is one of the few times I've seen you wear a hat.
Yeah, I
You've
forgot
arrived
to do...
with a hat. That's Cody Gough, and he's donned a chapeau.
Yeah, I literally forgot that I didn't do my hair today until I joined this call and then looked at myself and said, this is horrific. So
it was immediately apparent to me that you had not done your hair, because you are, if nothing else, and you are more than this, but you are always well coiffed. So it was odd for me to see you uncoiffed. Hello, Judy. Everybody jumping in. We're glad you're here. The weekly podcast recording that is then released the next day. There we go. I've laid it all out. All right. There we go. YouTube. Mike is on YouTube this week, not being a douche canoe, because he says Facebook is blocked at work. Oh, the man trying to keep you down, Mike. So what happened? You were busy working all day and you just didn't get to put, what is it you use there? Petroleum jelly, Brill cream. What do you put in your hair? Some
wet cement.
Like the putty kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No, I'm actually out of my preferred gel, and I have a secondary gel that is less preferred. It has less of a firm hold. It's a medium hold.
Oh, me. Yeah. What do you go extra firm or firm?
I do. Well, I don't know if they have extra firm, but I do firm. I do a strong hold, not a weak one. But the other problem is it's a little the gel that I have at present is also a little bit it's not as matted. It's a little shinier.
Oh,
yeah.
See, now I've seen all those products, and I don't know much about. I know back in the day, back when I had, used a lot of gel. Yeah, back when I had hair.
Wait, where's your hair?
Oh, my hair is all tied up back there. And you may say, why are you sporting a Steven Seagal 1985 Coke dealer in Boca Raton look? And I would say, well, I did it as a disguise for an audition today, because I've auditioned for a couple things and my headshots are all with the crew cut. So these casting directors who are calling me, I've done a couple where I didn't try to hide the fact that my hair was insane now. And I thought the auditions were good, but I didn't even get a call back. So today I was like, well, it's a good part. Maybe I'll make it look like I don't have crazy long hair. And since I don't have to turn and I'm recording it, they don't see anything but the front of me. So now, and I figured once it was done, I thought, well, I have to leave it for Cody. I have to show Cody what it looks like if I decided to move down to Florida and be every old man with a long hair trying to hit on, 23-year-old girls on the beach. This is what it would look like, shirt and all. This is
which is very impressive. What you didn't count on is that I'm so narcissistic that I only looked at myself when I jumped on the call.
Oh, I know.
It took me like 2 full minutes to notice.
That's all right. I wasn't going to say anything because it was not it was not a thing. It was funny because I went downstairs and I said, Debbie, what do you think of the ponytail? Well, she actually saw it because she was helping me with the audition. She had to read the other part.
Oh yeah. How'd she like that?
She's done it before. She doesn't like it. She's wildly intelligent, and yet somehow reading 3 lines of dialogue throws her off.
She's not a thespian.
No, I understand, but she boasts wildly that she could read when she was 3. This is her thing. She always said, well, I could read when I was 3. It's an odd flex for a woman with 2 master's degrees, but it's still her flex. And then I say, well, can you come up here and read a few lines with me? And lines are just reading English that she has trouble with. So then I start to, I always call her out on this reading when she was 3 because I don't quite believe it. But then she reads a script with me and I really don't believe it. So I'm like, you're way more than 3. And this is a little trouble.
Well, have you told her motivation?
I have. I give her the copy well in advance. I print out an extra thing. I highlight her part. I give her sometimes days to read over it. and I don't need a lot of emotion. I
Wait,
just need it. I just need it not to be read because you've auditioned. If anybody has an audition, here's a little showbiz hit. Normally, and back in the old days, in pre-COVID, when you would go to audition, and you got to the point where there was, sometimes it was just a cold thing the first time, but they'd have a production assistant or a casting assistant rather sitting near the camera who really didn't want to be there. It was part of their job to listen to all these actors come in and read the same thing. And to say that they didn't emote or were not creating Emmy or Oscar winning performances next to the camera would be an understatement. So, I don't need to be reading with Meryl Streep, but I also don't need to be reading with someone who, is seeing English as their third language and then trying to read it. It would be like me doing an audition in, I don't know, Belarus. I don't even know if they have TV in Belarus. I'm sure they do.
I think they do.
It's state-run TV though, so I don't even think you audition. I just think you're forced at gunpoint to do the part. But the point is, so that's why the hair looks like this, because it was an audition for an episodic.
There you go.
Yes. So I was happy with it, which means nothing will come of it. So that's always exciting. So back to the products, because you said you use a gel, and I've seen gel, and I use like what are they? It's like a putty kind of thing that I use, like a clay they call it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I put in mine. And I don't know, I don't know the difference. I know I used to, when I had spiky hair back in the day, I used heavy gel that kept it straight up and very shiny. But this was before you knew me.
Yeah.
When it was like almost like a toilet brush where I had really short on the sides and then it was spiky up top.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. And it was crisp, man. That didn't move. I could impale someone with it. It was horrific. But, it was a thing back then. So yeah, I don't know about gels and pastes and putties and, hairspray. Do I use Aquanet? I don't know what I use.
I don't know. No, I don't. I didn't either. The salon one time gave me some stuff. I put it in my hair. It worked. I've gone with that.
Wow. I like they use the word salon. You go to a salon.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I go to salons.
Yeah. Well, I went to your salon.
So
very nice, very nice salon. They didn't give me any product. Maybe they figured I was past product.
Well, I got yeah. Yeah, I have nothing interesting to say about my hair product.
Okay, good. Well, let's move on, because you told me you had a lot to say. Oh, let me tell you this. So I'm sitting in my office, right? In my own house. Guess what I have to wear when I leave the office in my own house?
Well, you have to wear?
Yeah.
A leash?
A maskaroo.
What?
I got to wear a mask in my own house.
Why?
See, I got a mask right here. I got to put it on in my own house.
Why?
Because our house is under quarantine now.
Why?
Oh, you have a lot of probing questions. Are you working for the Wall Street Journal? Who do you work for?
No, if I was working for
Are you part of the mainstream media?
If I was working for the Wall Street Journal, I would just read your press release and reprint it uncritically, which is what they always do.
Let's play what news organization does Cody work for? So ask me a question about this and give it a different slant. And I'll tell you what news organization you work for, whether it's the liberal mainstream media or the right-wing press. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, you have to say the thing again so I know what question to ask.
I have to wear a mask in my own house.
Wow. Which woke leftist told you to do that?
Well, Sean Hannity, let me answer that with this. The wife is having back surgery on Friday.
Which woke leftist wife?
My woke left. Wow, I think I just had a stroke. Hello, everybody who's chiming in and watching me melt down. No, she is a leftist. She's a feminist.
Oh yeah,
she is. Oh sure, my wife's a big feminist.
Oh yeah,
from way back.
How you gonna pay for it? How you gonna pay for it?
Oh, we're sucking off the teat of the government.
How you gonna pay for it?
With our private insurance.
Oh, okay.
With our private insurance that we have because we work hard.
Oh yeah.
She works hard.
How is it that the richest country in the history of the world is the only developed country on earth that does not guarantee free universal health care to all of its citizens? How is it that the richest country on earth
Wow.
doesn't do that?
I love that you went from Tucker Carlson to AOC without even blinking an eye.
That's what I do.
That was very good. That was very good. You went far right to far left. Congratulations. I agree with you because it's craziness. It's craziness that you have to worry so much about, I'm still paying off a bill a year and a half ago. What was it? 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. Remember I had my toes done? Not like a
Hey,
cosmetic
you got a
thing.
pedicure. I remember that. It
No,
looked lovely. It was a great shade of yellow that
that's true.
it really matched your open-toed sandals at the time.
Well, you're right. Thank you. That's very kind. That I paid for on my own after my hammer toe surgery, which I thought my private insurance, which we pay quite a bit for, was going to pay for it. They paid for the surgery, but not the doctor to do the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of beauty of our insurance system. So I'm still paying that off because it's like, wait a minute, hold on. You paid for the surgery. I couldn't have had the surgery without a doctor to do the surgery because I'm not doing it at home because I have trouble. I can reach my toes, but I can't saw parts of them off and stuff.
The doctor was optional. The doctor was optional.
See, they didn't tell me that beforehand because I would have given it more thought.
Yeah.
I assumed when the doctor's office said, "Oh, we spoke to your insurance and everything's been approved," I was like, "Well, go ahead, chop away, my man." Little did I know he was irrelevant to the whole scenario.
Yeah.
So the wife is having surgery on Friday. And, so she went to the doctor today to get her COVID test. Even though she's vaccinated, you got to get this COVID test. And they told her she had to quarantine. And I said, well, will you do me a favor and ask them what that means? Does that mean we can't be in the same house? I said, do I get to go to a hotel? I offered to. First, I said, do you want to go to a hotel? She said, no. I said, then can I go to a hotel? She said, nope.
We have a guest room. We could have been pounding bourbon barrel-aged stouts all week. I don't know why you didn't hit me up.
Oh, well, because you and I both get up and go to work.
Do we? I get up and I work. I don't really go anywhere.
Oh, well, I do. I have to leave the house, which is why we have to wear the masks, because she said to them, well, what does that mean? And they said, well, when you're in the same area of the house, you got to wear masks, because she told them I worked at a school, and that put up all kind of red flags and alarm bells and horror stories. And so now she's downstairs, I'm upstairs. When I ate dinner, she sat in the living room, and now she's eating dinner while I'm upstairs. I was like, doesn't it seem weird that, so she's going to sleep in the other bedroom. I changed the sheets for her, so it's all good. But I hacked all over the sheets. I coughed on every sheet, on the pillows, everything. So we'll see. But anyway, so now when I finish this and go back downstairs, I have to put a mask on in my own house after wearing a mask all day at school. And I'm for masks. I'm not anti-mask. You know that about me, Cody. I love them. I have fancy masks. I don't know if you see this one. It's a Mardi Gras themed mask right here. It's beautiful, beautiful. I paid full price for it. But so I'm not giving any plugs. But it seems weird to have to do it in my own house. You have no audio right now.
I mean, you could do fun games. You could attach a cup to a string, and you could have two cups that you talk to each other in. It could go like down the stairs. One of you could live upstairs. The other could live downstairs. We know you've passed out on the couch before. You could do the couch thing,
Yeah. I offered to, I said, well, like tonight we're doing this, and I had an event beforehand, and tomorrow night I'm going to be at Zany's in, where is it? Rosemont. Zany's in Rosemont for a big comedy showcase.
Are you performing?
Oh, sure. I'm performing.
Ugh. Can't make it.
Well, that's all right. I didn't give anybody advance. So this is the first one I've done there of these Wednesday nights. They have these big laugh out loud showcases. And so I'm doing it tomorrow. And here's big news though on the calendar, folks. Theater gigs already being booked for 2022. That is not an exaggeration. I will, as we get closer and all the details are finalized, I will put the word out. I will be on shows in various theaters throughout the Chicago area. Yeah. Big news. Don't look so shocked, Cody. I'm talented.
No, I'm just trying to figure out logistically what that means. So you're in like a touring show?
Well, no. That may be a possibility though coming. That's no.
Oh,
There's a friend of mine, a very talented man, does a lot of bookings with theaters, like few hundred seat theaters, things like that. And you go in, you do, a show. So I've already booked a couple of those
stand-up shows.
stand-up shows around around town.
Very nice.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So yeah, so tomorrow night, and then Thursday I have a game, a trivia game, and then I'm going to run around like to the store to get everything. So I won't be around too much to breathe on her. And then we'll have to ride in the same car to get to the hospital. I don't know if I have to driving Miss Daisy her and put her in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably best.
Windows open. Yeah.
Right. And then just say, I'm trying to drive you to the store. And she'll go, okay, Hoke. And then, God forbid, I have to go to the bathroom because I'm going to say, I've got to stop and make water.
Sure.
And she'll say, you should have done that before I left the house. And I'll say, I'm a grown man. I know when I got to make water, Miss Debbie. And she'll say, shut up and just get me to the hospital. So, yeah, so that's the whole house is, we're wiping things down again. It's very odd, even though I'm sure I don't have the COVID.
How many bathrooms do you have?
We have 2 bathrooms. We have, 3 bedrooms, but one of them is the office here. And so she's got her own bedroom, and her bedroom, that bedroom has a TV and stuff. So she'd be comfortable. And I'm not here all day. So she'll wake up. I'll be gone. I'll come home and then run around doing all the other. I've been up in the office doing stuff since I got home from work, except when I went down to eat dinner. So, and that's a weird phrase to come out of my mouth.
Is it?
That I came home from work? Yeah, that's a weird phrase.
Yeah, that one, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I work. I've always worked,
mm-hmm.
but rarely the same schedule every day.
Right.
So
yeah.
So it's a little odd.
Most of my time I've spent with you has been at a workplace.
Correct.
So,
and now you live in your workplace.
I do. I'm about 5 feet away from my desk where I spend about 8 hours a day sitting without moving or exercising or taking care of my body. I haven't had dinner tonight. I had 3 spoonfuls of peanut butter right before this.
I'm not a doctor, or I'd do Debbie's surgery right here and not have to worry about the COVID test. But you should eat. Aren't you supposed to eat?
Well, I had a lot of work
to eat.
I had a lot of work today. My week is very thrown off this week. I had a lot of work to do, but my wife had some engagements this evening and had to leave, so I had to take over babysitting duties around 4, also known as parenting.
It's very, let me say this. Ladies tend to get very upset when you call taking care of your own child babysitting.
Yeah, I don't care for that term either. So I was parenting starting at 4.
Solo parenting.
Right, sure. Solo parenting, which we thought would be nap time. It was not nap time. So there I am, no longer working at 4, having at least 2 more hours of work to do. I played with my baby son, which is a massive privilege and a joy and just wonderful.
Who are you trying to convince?
No, he's so good. I'm lucky. He's awesome.
I know you are.
But, after like a point, it's like 5 o'clock rolls around. And you're like, okay, I should get back to work. You should nap. Anyway.
And he's like, no, Dad, it's almost bedtime at night. I'm not napping at 5:30.
Yeah, well, 5 minutes after I put him down for a little nap at 5, and then across the street, a tree company decides to turn on their wood chipper and start grinding up some trees. So I hear some crying, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Going to the nursery, and turns out that woke him up. So I actually put him in the next room, and I had him look out the window. We just sat on the couch, and he looked out the window and watched him do it, which he loved doing.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, he was so into it. And then out of 20 minutes or so, they were done. So I'm like, all right, now it's nap time. It's 5:30. He hasn't gotten up. He's been asleep since 5:30.
Yeah, but you know when he's going to wake up? 4.
Yeah. Yes.
He's going to wake up at like 4 a.m. And who's going to be solo and co-parenting at that point?
I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it. But anyway.
Yes.
So I go back to work thinking I have only got an hour. He'll wake up. Well, no, I keep working. I work till like 7:45.
Holy cow.
My wife is still gone. I hadn't thought to eat. And then I finished the last thing I was doing. And I'm like, all right, I got a few minutes. And then I was gonna, I didn't even think to eat. I just I saw something on our company Slack channel or something. And then I jumped on YouTube and I watched Norm Macdonald interview.
I was going to bring that. That's horrible news.
Horrible news.
Because Norm Macdonald was hilarious.
He was.
In the most offbeat, weird way. And from all accounts, from people I know who've worked with him, a really, really nice guy. Despite his comedy sometimes being edgy and cruel, just a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
So it's rough. He did great interviews on talk shows. He was just a phenomenal guest.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal.
Which
one did you watch?
I rewatched part of the one. People have put this anthology together on YouTube. So if you don't know, in 1998, when Norm Macdonald was fired from Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, that day he got fired, he was on Letterman. Letterman is my favorite talk show host. I know he's not for everybody, but I love Letterman and Norm are on the same wavelength.
That's why they were so good together, and why Dave loved having him on.
Yeah. And I heard an interview that I think it was with Conan O'Brien and David Letterman. One was interviewing the other, and they talked about how like both of their favorite comedian was Norm Macdonald. Yeah. And so Norm goes on Letterman the day he's fired, and he just tells the story of being fired, which only Norm can do. And he mentions this NBC executive that Letterman just tears into because Letterman doesn't care. But then Norm is back a few months later, and he does a follow-up and talks about more meetings he had with that executive. And he's kind of like, Dave, you were saying all these terrible things. And I was like, he's not that bad. Yeah, you were right. And he was this Norm thing. And then several months later, he goes back on Letterman. He's promoting a movie, and the NBC executive announced that he wouldn't allow NBC to air ads for Norm's movie. So like it's in like the New York Post, and like Letterman holds up the newspaper. So you can go on YouTube, just look up like Norm Macdonald, Dave Letterman like series compilation, and you'll see them, and they're all from 1998. And it's like a serialized television show because they kind of pick up where they left off. But between that and the Conan O'Brien interviews, whenever he's on Conan O'Brien, Conan loses his mind.
Yeah.
Like Conan can't hold it together with Norm because he's so like you can't imagine Conan is that happy on Christmas Day as when Norm Macdonald goes on his show.
It was his delivery, and his mind was just crazy. It was unparalleled. He was hilarious on Weekend Update. His show that got canceled on Netflix, I thought was pretty good. Anytime I heard him on Stern, he was always great. So it's a shock. But this is the other thing that was shocking to me in this day and age where everybody needs attention and everybody wants likes and this and that and everything else. He was suffering from cancer for 10 years and said he didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell his family. He didn't let it become public knowledge because he didn't want his comedy or the way people reacted to him to be molded by the fact that he had cancer. So he just kept it quiet. That's why whenever a guy that age dies, it's a shock. And whenever somebody, that funny and that big a name dies, it's a shock. But people today were really, because nobody knew he was sick. It was like, wait, what? Because when I saw the headline today, I thought immediately it was drugs or a heart attack, something quick like that. When I read that he'd been battling cancer for a decade, I was like, holy shit. Holy shoot.
Yeah. No, there's a certain type. The related story, there's a video game I'm obsessed with, Final Fantasy 14. It's an online Final Fantasy. It's constantly releasing new stuff. It's kind of ongoing. It's not like they like made a game. It's out. It's done. They're constantly releasing expansions and new content and patches. And the newest expansion is coming out actually in November. Ooh. But they have a Final Fantasy 14 Fan Fest every year. And this year it was virtual. And the music in the game is extraordinary. It's like John Williams level of just extraordinary. And the composer came out, Masayoshi Soken. And Soken said that he apologized for some of the delays in the content being released because Soken had been battling cancer. And he was in a hospital for like months.
Oh, geez.
And Square Enix set him up with a workstation basically because he wanted to continue working on the game. And he
Oh
only
man.
told the director of the game, Yoshi P. He's like the only person that knew about it. And Yoshi had to keep it quiet from the rest of the team because he didn't want to be treated differently by his coworkers or by the fans or anything while working on the music for this
Yeah.
game. So he announces this, and I mean, just the whole. There's millions of
Oh,
players in this game. The whole community goes ballistic. You logged on the game, and people are like spelling out his name and throwing up in the chat, all the characters are like dancing in circles, like saying they support him, and he was trending on Twitter in Japan and
oh
all
my
this stuff and
God.
all this. But that was his deal. He was just like, I don't want to be treated differently. I just want to do my job, make this music, inspire people, and all this stuff. So that just happened too. So when I saw the thing that Norm was keeping it quiet, I immediately thought of that because I
Yeah.
just saw this happen like 3 months ago. It's just I get it. I get that. I've thought about it weirdly. Like if I got real sick or something, like if I would even say anything on certain channels. You know what I mean?
Ooh. Why? Do you want to tell us something?
I have
Is
nothing
that
to
why you
hide.
let your hair go so crazy today? Got nothing else to live for? Is that what we're? Oh my God, that's horrible news.
Hmm.
I think I don't know because part of me wants to think I would tell everybody. I'd just be like, oh, feel sorry for me. But then knowing how I am normally when I'm sick, I'd be like a dog and just go off by myself to die. Hey, speaking of dogs who are, I don't know what she's doing. She's just laying here. Gidget is keeping me company during. Gidget's not afraid of catching anything from me.
Mm.
So she will stay. She's staying here with me. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it takes a certain. It's, I don't know what goes through someone's mind when they get that diagnosis. I think it's got to be horrible. And I think there is a stoicism of saying, listen, I'm still about my work. I don't want this to define me. That's just something that I was unfortunate enough to get. I'm fighting it, but this is what I'm about. Whether it's the composer of the game or whether it's Norm Macdonald or whether it's anybody who keeps going and you never know they're sick. No, I just found out the guy I was talking to about the theater gigs tells me he had been sick this year. And it was like, oh my God, but just keep going. Because to be honest, I hate when people, I don't like being sick at all because I don't like people to have to try to take care of me because they always make things worse. Because I'm, so that's why that's one of the reasons I'm so nervous about this thing. Because I know, one, Debbie's a bad patient too, because she doesn't listen. And I've already said to her, are you going to do everything they tell you to do? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, are you sure? Because if you do something and it exacerbates the situation, I'm not going to be happy. Because, this is a last ditch effort. And I'm a much better caretaker. So I think I'll be fine taking care of her if she will let me. But as much as she always gets mad at me because I won't let her take care of me when I'm sick, she is exactly the same. She won't let me take care of her. Mm-hmm. Except she told me I got to go get her puffy Cheetos, which I knew already because whenever she's sick, she wants puffy Cheetos.
I got to ask you about that.
About what, puffy Cheetos?
Well, all right. There's this baby, a baby snack that is basically Cheetos.
Okay.
And we feed it to my son. He likes these little, they're little Gerber. Gerber sells them. So
sure, of course, Gerber does.
Basically cheese puffs, right?
Yeah, cheesy poofs.
My baby eats
Give me my cheesy poofs.
Right. They always calm him down.
They call them, what are they, cheesy poof barbiturates?
I don't know. I don't like to we don't give them to him in excess or everything in moderation. But
sure, of course.
The other day, my wife is like, have you tried one of these? They're like Cheetos. It's pretty good. You want to try one? And I was like, no. And immediately in my head, it was like trying dog food. I don't know why. It's just like it's classified for a different category of audience. I am not the target demographic for this. I don't want to eat a baby Cheeto. She force fed it to me. And I ate it against my will, and it tasted like a Cheeto,
sure,
or like a cheese puff. Not a Cheeto. I shouldn't say Cheeto. They're cheese. It's like a cheesy poof,
puff.
like a poofy cheesy
poof,
thing. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what I'm just for some reason I associate as like I'm not going to try dog food even if it's fine, and I don't want to try baby food even though I know it's fine.
Would, but do you eat other things that are made for children? Like, would you eat a sugary cereal?
I eat Raisin Bran Crunch, and I have Eggo thick and fluffy waffles when I can.
Okay, I get.
Oh,
Well, both of those are geared toward everybody, I guess. Kind
yeah,
of like,
they
would you
are.
eat Fruity Pebbles?
Well, dude, we bought Pop Tarts like 6 months ago because I'm like, oh, what? I kind of felt like a Pop Tart, and I had one, and I was like, I'm gonna die. This is gonna give me like type 14 diabetes. I don't
Pop
need
Tarts
this in my life.
rule. Oh my god, I
Pop
used
Tarts are,
to.
do
I
they you?
u- I used to eat Pop Tarts like a crazy man.
Me too, but I don't now that I'm in my
Oh
30s.
no, I don't either. But if you want the taste of Pop Tarts without the guilt or the horror, these Kellogg's makes these pastry crisps. They're they're two little bars about, I don't know, 4 inches long. It's in a pack of two. It's 100 calories for the two of them, and they have the same. They taste exactly like a Pop Tart, and
Hmm.
they come in brown sugar, cinnamon, blueberry, strawberry, and there's not a ton of filling, and there's just the smallest hint of a drizzle of like icing, but so it's 100 calories for these two little bars, and it tastes just like a Pop Tart. So I pretend that I'm still having a Pop Tart, just like I pretend I'm still having fun uh, and enjoying my meals. But yeah, so I would eat. I've I've gotten, some days at school in the past when I was like, I go in the morning without a lot of breakfast, I'm hungry. And there's a couple things that they bring in for the kids' breakfast. Most of it is, but there's a couple things that are pretty good. And if the kids don't eat them all and they were going to, just take them back and do whatever with them, I'd grab one. One was this Pillsbury, like, it's almost like, I don't know how to describe it. It was a pull apart like pastry thing filled with cream cheese. And, it was really, really good. And then there was a little bag of these Scooby Doo doggy snack crackers,
Ooh,
like cookie things. Those were fun because they look like the bone. They say Scooby on them, and then and I just pop it in my mouth.
Teddy
Delicious.
Grahams hold up.
Teddy Grahams are phenomenal. You know what? We've been having some Cheez-Its in the house too.
Oh my
And
god.
Cheez-Its are something that I never used to eat. And I don't like the yellow ones. I like the white cheddar ones.
Oh
So
no. Original Cheez-Its is the only way to go.
I like the original Cheez-Its, but I got to be honest, I'm not a yellow cheese guy in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't like Cheetos. I can't stand them. I will eat a nacho cheese Dorito occasionally. And like with Goldfish or Cheez-Its or one of those kind of low-cal crackers, the originals are good, but the white cheddar is so much better.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
You
friends and I used to always have one of the giant cartons of Goldfish. In high school, we'd go through one of those in a night, just nonstop Goldfish.
While you guys were wearing your cloaks and playing some sort of fantasy game.
Super Smash Brothers usually, but close enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Video games and Goldfish.
Mm-hmm.
And lustful thoughts of unattainable women.
No, we didn't care about women. That was not
Wow.
was not a concern.
Okay.
Generally. Yeah, no, that was not.
Yeah, no. Oh, we're making Cindy hungry. Sorry, Cindy. We will try to we'll try to tone down the food talk.
Yes.
Listen, you can keep playing with your hair all you want. It's not gonna, unless you go in and get some product. We'd all love to see you groom.
It's never gonna look good. This is awful. Wait, hang on a second. Hold on.
Well, thankfully, this lives on mostly in audio, not really in video. We just do this video thing for some fun for some folks who want to join us while we record the podcast. It's one of those little deals. So that's what's going on. We I'm trying to over plan too for this surgery thing, not the actual surgery, but everything surrounding it. Because when I get nervous, I try to live in the weird falsehood that I can control things. What do you got there? It's a box of goo. Is that
Kevin Murphy Freehold? I usually get Kevin Murphy Knight Rider. As you can see, it is medium hold and medium shine.
Hold. Oh.
Which I usually do high hold, low shine. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm more of a matte finish That's what. Yeah. All right. So let's see. We're gonna watch Cody groom now. Do you rub a little bit in your whole hand? How do you? What's your? This is like, boy. This is like being with a Kardashian. We're
Yeah.
gonna get a beauty tip. This is exciting. So
Yeah.
walk us through it, Cody. Walk us
Oh,
through what's going on.
rub it on my hands, get it all through. Usually my hair is a little bit like wet at
That's
this
what I was
point,
going to ask. Do you
moist.
do dry or damp?
No, yeah, I always wait. I don't use a hair dryer. That's way too much work. If I'm not really, it's hard to do with the headphones on. Hold on, I gotta
Yeah.
slip them
Take the
off for a
headphones
second. I'm
off.
not gonna be able to hear you while I
That's
do
all
this.
right.
But yeah, I mean,
This is
usually
very
I've got
exciting watching.
nothing scientific. It's just kind of throw it up, and now I look really good, really good. We'll go with that.
Wow. The,
Perfect.
the confidence is impressive. If
Not
nothing
hard.
else, the self-confidence is what puts that over the top.
Not hard. Look at that. Boom. Bing, bam,
Okay.
boom.
Looks good.
We're set. Now my hands are all gooey, so I can't touch anything in my studio.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's a
Do you
little
need to go
nasty.
get a wipe? Do you need to go wash them off?
Yeah, one sec.
All right. This is very listen, we've seen something today and learned something today that we didn't know about. Cody is really, really working it. I have found that since I've had more hair, I don't want to talk about hair too much, but the fact that it takes longer to do everything. Used to be when I was almost bald, there was nothing. So anyway, but back to this thing. So I don't know if you guys do this. I am trying to over plan everything so that the things that are out of my control, such as the surgery itself and my wife's health and all of that, I can't control any of that, but I can control, all right, what time are we going to leave for the hospital? And what do you want for dinner on Thursday before you have to start fasting? And, Molly's going to come Friday. She's not going to go to the hospital because, quite frankly, we would probably kill each other in the waiting room while we're in there because the surgery is supposed to be like 3 hours.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I know. So it's going to be, I'm going to be, I'm going to be concerned enough. And Molly's concerned, obviously, but I don't think our two levels of concern together would be calming. I think instead it would just make the level of tension exponentially high. So I said, well, you know what? I'll keep texting you throughout. I said, it would be a big help to me because she was working remote and I said, could you come over and work from our house so you can let the dogs out and you can bring Walter and then, I don't have to worry about our dogs. You'll let them out. You'll feed them. That will make my life much easier. You'll still be updated on Mom because she's coming home Saturday anyway. And Molly was like, well, yes, I can do that, but I have to get an extra day. She knew she couldn't bring Walter here this weekend. So she was taking Walter back to the pet hotel because she's got so many things to do this weekend. She's very busy and we can't take care of Walter. So I said, well, you know what? I'll spring for that extra day. So Walter is going to camp on Friday morning. Molly's coming over here. She's going to be with our dogs. Then all the stuff she has to do is out far west or north or I don't know where, somewhere in another direction. But anyway, she'll stay here and then she'll go off and do that Saturday and Sunday and pick up Walter. But, so I'll bring Debbie home Saturday and be, probably overly concerned. And then she'll get mad at me and I'll get mad at her and then I won't help her at all for after that.
Right.
That sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah. That sounds
good.
relatively accurate.
Yeah. Cindy, she's only going to be in the hospital for one night. That's the plan.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll be how it goes. So you're not too nervous, right? It'll be fine.
No, of course I'm nervous.
No.
Of course. Yes. She's very nervous, which is normal. One, it's surgery. Two, there's still a ton of COVID running around. Three, it's surgery. So, and four, I have to then be compassionate for an extended period of time.
That's the one. That's the one.
That's exactly what it is. I am worried that I can't be compassionate enough for however long her recovery takes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping she bucks the trend because they're saying like 6 to 8 weeks to be completely covered. And I'm hoping she can, I don't know if you know this, Cody. She started reading when she was 3. So maybe she could be all healed up in like 48 hours. That would work well for me anyway. Either that or I just, a couple extra painkillers here and there and she just sleeps for the next month and a half.
It's one way to do it. I think it'll be fine.
You're a young man. You haven't been married that long. You wait till you've been married 30 years and then you'll be like, oh, bad. So you said you had a lot to talk about. You got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I do.
What? Let's hear some, because I've been yammering, and then I got to tell you how I became a culture vulture. But I want to hear your stories. This is why we're here, to share different points of view and different stories.
Well, I had some culture at my inaugural visits to Summerfest.
That's right. I was thinking of you Saturday. I was thinking of you in a sea of virus.
Yeah,
trying to listen to Dave Chappelle. So go ahead. I'll ask questions as you go, but.
Well, I'm trying to pull up my Twitter because I've got some evidence I've got to present. But
all right.
I got tickets to see. It says I haven't tweeted yet. Yes, I have. I've tweeted actually thousands of times. What? Why isn't this showing up on my Twitter profile? I go to my Twitter profile and it goes to tweets, and it's like, you haven't tweeted yet. There we go. It loaded. All right, so I got tickets to see Dave Chappelle on September 11th, which was a great get. I was very excited. Yes. Big Dave Chappelle, American Family Insurance Amphitheater at Summerfest, Milwaukee Summerfest. Pretty cool. Start to look at the other acts playing that day. There's a couple other pretty good bands maybe gonna play. Figured I'll check them out.
Okay.
Actually, in fact, I have to verify something.
How did you like had you been to Summerfest before?
I'd never been to Summerfest.
How did you like the festival grounds?
Festival grounds, fantastic. So, by the way, there was a COVID check. So they announced about a month ago. They're like, you have to show proof of your vaccination in order to enter. Fine. Okay. So I got my little vaccination card. That was fine. And I'm pulling this up. Okay, good. I just needed to. I'm going to trash talk a band and I need to make sure it's the right one. Yeah. So, the vaccination card. Cool. All right. We showed up around it was between 3 and 4 p.m., something like that. Maybe a little later. Right. And so to the gate, flash your vaccination card. Cool. Fine. Move through Ticketmaster, scan it.
Were they looking at it at all? Really?
Not really.
Okay.
Go through a metal detector, which I'm, and they're like, put your hands up, hold your cell phone. I'm like, dude, I've got my diabetes texting kit. I've got needles. I've got all sorts of crap. I've got 2 phones on me. I am going to set this off.
Hold on. Why 2 phones?
The burner phone that I sell drugs from. And then
that's okay. That's what I assumed, but I didn't want to jump to that conclusion. Okay. Yeah.
No, one is a work phone. That I got from work.
To sell drugs.
Yeah. Right. So I've got my phone and my Discovery phone on me. And I walk through the metal detector. I'm like, something will set this off. Nothing set it off. It's fine. It's great. Just walk right in. Good times. It's probably like to measure giant things like guns or something. But I was good. So no hassle at the gate. Great. Got in. Took 10 seconds. No big deal. Great. Beautiful. This is going so far so good. Don't have to worry about this vaccine thing being a nightmare. Not too crowded. A lot of people out. Pretty nice day. I know it was very hot in Illinois on Saturday, but it wasn't bad up there. It was not bad up there. Like maybe high 70s, maybe 80 or so.
Well, but that sounds nice. And you're right on the lake there on those festival grounds.
Yeah, it was warm, but not uncomfortable by any means. Start walking around, and we've parked as far away from the American Family Insurance Amphitheater as we could have. So we asked the first guy, where's the American Family Insurance Amphitheater? And he's like, oh, it's about 4 miles that way. We're like, okay, great.
Yeah, it's all the way at the south end of the fest grounds.
Yeah, so you know what? So we meander down there, taking it all in. There's lots of stages, not a lot of music because it's midday. There's not that many bands, but there's a few. You were going to say they don't really do that much during the afternoon.
No, I was going to say that that makes sense. They usually like 4 o'clock or 5 is when the bands really start to kick in.
Yeah. Checking out the beers, $8 a beer. It's fine. Whatever. Mixed drink is going to cost you $19. So you got to stay away from them. Oh yeah.
$19?
Yeah, $19. Yeah.
For one like a regular size mixed drink?
I guess. I didn't order one.
Wow. No. Why would you order a $19 mixed drink at a fair?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Okay, good.
So we start on the Oktoberfest right away because we want to, we want to get all juiced up for Chappelle.
Right on.
Day is going pretty well. So there are like 5 or 6 kind of headline bands I've heard of, and I was like, let's go see them. So one of the bands is Filter. You know Filter?
I know, I've heard the name. I don't know who Filter is.
They did this song. It was like, "Take My Picture." It's like, "Do you want to take my picture?"
Oh,
Right?
okay. Yes, I know that one. I got it.
I really hope that was Filter. I'm going to look it up because that's why I went. Yeah, okay. So Take a Picture.
All right.
Uh,
So I know that one.
the lead singer, you've played the video game Rock Band or Guitar Hero, right?
Yes.
If you get enough notes wrong, they boo you off the stage and you fail out of the song.
Yeah.
The lead singer should have failed out of the song.
Whoa.
He was so off key. It was like he was singing like along with another band. I would say it was hilariously bad.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
It was so bad, like, I can't think of an excuse, and you might say, well, maybe the speakers, maybe he couldn't hear, right? Maybe the sound
Right.
setup was
Maybe,
bad.
yeah.
Well,
That's
the
what I'd
band
say.
after him, the band after Filter was Living Color.
Really?
And the lead singer for Living Color sounded awesome.
Well, sure. They're a cult of personality.
They are. So, my advice, don't see Filter live.
Skip Filter.
Yeah, bad, very bad.
All right.
So we leave after like a song and meander around a little bit. Came back for Living Color because, we all want to hear Cult of Personality.
Sure.
Are you familiar with Living Color's library?
I just ran down my knowledge of Living Color's library. I know Cult of Personality.
Throw it up in the chat if you've heard any Living Color song besides Cult of Personality.
Do they have a canon? Is there a large canon of music from Living Color?
I don't know. Apparently they're hard rock, like hard,
Yeah.
like heavy guitar and a lot of they're hard rock. And I was like, all right, I don't really care for any of this, but the singer was very good and they sounded good. The guitarist was really good. So a lot of talent in the band, not really my style, but okay. Then right before, they're going to save Cult of Personality for like the
Yeah,
finale.
I'm surprised they didn't open with it and close with it.
Should have, because then we would have caught it. But it's getting to be like 7:00 or so. It's like, Dave Chappelle's at 8, right? We got to walk. So we're like, okay, all right, around 7:00, let's head out and go to. So it's like 40, a little bit of Living Color. And then we're like, we got to go. So head over to the American Family Insurance Amphitheater. Now, keep in mind, we'd already been COVID checked. We'd already been metal detected. Like, everything's safe, right? We're in the festival. We've been in the festival for hours. We're all good. So we get to the American Family Insurance Amphitheater, and there's a long, I wouldn't say a line, I would just say a horde of people.
Okay.
We got in line at 7:20, and we got through the line and past the ticket takers at 8:55.
What?
It took more than an hour and a half.
What the hell's going on?
What the hell's going on is this, and I will pull up the tweet. So we knew this ahead of time. This is from Summerfest on Twitter. We got an email about this. This event will be a phone-free experience.
Oh, Chappelle does that. Yeah.
We understand. Use of phones, smartwatches, and accessories will not be permitted in the space. We understand that. This is in the emails. This is on the website.
Right.
Not a big deal. I'll leave my phone in my pocket. Don't care.
Oh,
What they did not say on Ticketmaster or in any of the daily Summerfest emails they spam your inbox with, or anywhere else in the venue or ahead of the event, nowhere except for apparently on Twitter 3 hours before the show, the additional line, all phones, smartwatches, and accessories will be secured in an individual Yonder pouches that will be opened at the end of the event. So Yonder was a company, evidently, that was there with these pouches, and they took every single person's phone and watch, including my Fitbit. This is a generic Fitbit that counts your steps. that doesn't do any, like, it has no feature.
Yeah, I'm wearing the same thing.
Yeah, it
Just a
literally
regular
does.
old Fitbit.
It does nothing, and I didn't care that they took it, but she was just like, "I need you watching here too," and I was like, "It doesn't do anything." She's like, "I know, it doesn't matter." She clearly didn't care. So they took
Yeah,
my,
but that's steps that you didn't get to count walking into the amphitheater.
it is, and it was a lot of steps.
Damn it.
So every single person at a 23,000 person show had their phones and accessories taken and sealed in a little patch, and they had like 6 people on staff doing this.
Oh,
So
jeez.
we were just in this unmanaged crowd. Like there's no guardrails being like, generally here's some way of organizing this line. It was just a sea of people. I mean, I didn't count, but there were at least 1,000 people in front of me when we got in line. There were several hundred behind us when we got in line. So that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Um, I don't now one of the
So
openers.
can I ask this? Do they then give you the pouch, or do they keep the pouches and you get a claim check?
They stick it in a pouch and they hand it to you. Now, so before you get to the front of the line, a woman asks you for your seats, and she writes them on a card and hands it to you, so you remember where your seats are. And then you get to the pouch person, they shove it in the pouch, magnetically seal it, hand it to you, and then at the end of the event, after you get out, they run a little magnetic thing to open the pouch. You take your stuff out, and then you throw it in a bin on the way out.
So you have to wait in this line again? I know it. No, I don't.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh
You have to
my.
wait in this line again on the way out to get your stuff. Now, the line out after did go significantly faster because they were not also checking tickets, but still. So we get in a full hour after the event has started. I'm sure you can imagine we're very happy about this. Get to our seats. I imagine, usually with big stand-ups, there's at least 2 openers.
Well, Rogan was supposed to open for him, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't know. I
thought-
don't know who was the opener.
Okay.
Because we saw an opener, and it was a guy that I guess used to be on the Chappelle show. I didn't recognize him, but we saw one act that went on before Chappelle. So if there was a first opener or a first and second opener, we have no idea because we didn't get in until an hour later. So we get in. This guy is like halfway into his set or whatever. There's a zillion people, right? So we get our way to our seats. Great. I don't know. So the Yonder thing you mentioned, it could have been a Chappelle deal because I guess security.
Chappelle does that. Chappelle does that all the time.
Okay.
All the time. But a lot of times it's much smaller venues than a giant outdoor amphitheater.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It's usually when he's in a small theater or at a club, and I've heard that. I've heard that he's the guy, and he was the first one to do it, where he doesn't want his material getting out before it's done or whatever. But yeah. So
yeah.
as soon as you said that, I was like, oh no, is this going to be one of those things? So, So then you finally get in, and this guy, the opener's almost done.
The opener's pretty good. Now, he did mention that he's filming a Netflix special soon. So like, there's also a shred of a possibility that Netflix said that we need to do this to protect you and your material on the special we're about to film and release. There's a chance, but from everything I've heard, it's a Chappelle thing. So,
yeah, it's a Chappelle thing.
Whatever. Whoever's idea it was executed horribly. So I tweeted at Summerfest, and I'm like, what the hell? Are you going to like,
I don't know, respond to
compensate anyone?
Your vicious Karen-like tweets?
Yeah, no response to the vicious Karen-like tweets. Whatever. I'm over it. So we get it. I mean, we pay like these seats started $100. We got pretty cheap seats at $160 a piece.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, no. Anything 100 level, I think, started at $250. I mean, we did the math. He probably pulled $2 to $3 million just from tickets.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a huge thing. So it's not cheap. So we miss an hour of the show. That sucks. So we sit down. The guy's in his set. It's whatever. We kind of get in the groove. It's fine. So then like they had a DJ in between. So the guy just started playing some top 40 stuff, and he's like, yo, everybody get ready for Chappelle. Yo, get hyped for Chappelle. And he's like, we're already hyped for Chappelle. Yeah. We've all been hyped for Chappelle. We're here for Chappelle. We bought the tickets. We're all very excited. Shut the hell up. Stop playing music and just let Chappelle come on, right? Yeah. So my wife looks at me and she's like, how long is this going to go on? And I'm just like, God, this whole night is already kind of messed up. But Chappelle's going to walk on stage. He's going to kill it. It's going to be great. So Chappelle comes out. And he's, he's good. People are excited. People are pumped. He tells a couple really good jokes. Then 2 rows in front of me, you know Hagrid from Harry Potter?
I sure do.
Picture Hagrid, but he has a neck beard, more of a neck beard, and he probably plays a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. And he is a Karen, and he is very upset that 2 people sitting in the seat 2 rows in front of us are in his seats. So Hagrid and 3 of his buddies have moved into the row 2 rows in front of me, directly in front of me. And Hagrid is like a 6.5 foot tall, bearded, like neck beard. And he's bending over, and these 2 guys are like, "Yo, we're sitting in these seats. We're sitting in these seats." He's like, "These are my seats." And he's like, "We're sitting in these seats." And he's like, "These are my seats." This goes on for about 5
Are there
minutes.
no ushers at the American Family Insurance Pavilion?
Apparently not. We're in the middle of the row, right? So there's at least 10 seats on either side. So it's not like there was easily accessible. He will not leave. And he just keeps bending over, and they just keep arguing for about 5 minutes straight. Like 5 minutes of a stand-up.
Is a long time in a stand-up show.
Yeah. So at this point, I don't know I literally can't hear Chappelle. I don't know what he's saying. There's screens, and I'm kind of in it, but you can't focus, right? So this goes on for about 5 minutes. Finally, the guy gets up and leaves to get an usher, of course, to have the usher come and eject the guy from a seat. Okay. All right. I got like 5-10 good minutes of Dave Chappelle, followed by a major disruption. We'll get back to the show. All right. Another 10-minute disruption, let's say. We'll get back to the show. All right. We start watching the show. We get back to Chappelle. He's saying something that's not funny. I don't remember. It's like a couple more minutes before I start to get a laugh again, because he's in the middle of something not that funny. It's like, great. All right. So he goes on for a little bit. Another, let's say 5 minutes. Suddenly, 10 people in the row behind me, and several people in the row behind them, and several people in the row next to me all stand up at the same time, because someone in the row behind us is having some kind of medical issue.
Oh, God.
So now Casey's friend is with us, who is a doctor, an actual doctor.
Is there a doctor in the house? Yes, as
sure.
a matter of fact, there is.
Which is nice, but so
it's real nice.
My wife, my friend, her friend are all standing up. The whole row behind is standing up. She immediately tells my wife it's not a serious medical issue. She knows the signs. He didn't soil himself. There was nothing, So, and thank God. I'm glad the guy was good, but something happened, dehydration, who knows, some minor thing. But that starts going on. So I'm now sitting here trying to hear Dave Chappelle joke about something, God knows what. And you, by the way, I've been sober this entire time, because by the time we got to the front of the line,
because you had stopped drinking by the.
We didn't have a beer in line. I mean, I had been drinking all day. I probably had 8 beers, and I was never wasted, but I was drinking all day. Stone sober by the time we get in the show. So we get in the show sober. See the end of this bad set, see this weird DJ break, see 5 minutes of Chappelle, then Karen in front, then another 5, and then the seizure thing or whatever the heck happened. That whole row empties out. And then we get to the rest of the show. And at this point, Chappelle's either very drunk or very high, or both. I don't know.
I'm going to guess high.
I'm probably high. 2 to 3 times. I couldn't count exactly, because, shows, stories weave in and out. 2 or 3 times he started to tell a story, and then someone would whoop something in the audience, and then they would say something. For example, he said, "Let me tell you about this time I went to Texas." And he said something Texas, and then someone in the crowd was like, "Woo!" And he's like, "Oh, you from Texas? Why don't you tell the governor to S my, Yeah. And then everyone's cheering, because we all hate Texas right now, because it sucks. And then he's like, "I'm telling you, I feel bad for women, not sorry for him bad, just I feel bad that they're putting him through this." And everyone's cheering, because we're all Chappelle fans, and we have political opinions. And that was, I don't know what happened in Texas after that. He just kind of got a few cheap pops talking trash about Texas, and then it just moved on. So
were there jokes, or was it preachy?
It was preachy. There were jokes at the beginning, and there were some jokes halfway into the set, but I feel like he started to set up for other jokes and then just interrupted himself with random anecdotes. And 3 times in the show, he just kind of stopped to tell the crowd how important we were to him, and how much he loved being there, and how big of a deal it was, and how we should all trust each other, which was kind of ironic given the cell phone debacle. And that America just needs trust. America, that's the one thing we need. We need to be able to help each other out and trust each other. He says to 25,000 people whose phones he took in a very slow fashion, in a very inconvenient, slow fashion.
Right. Causing
so,
us to miss half the show that we paid an exorbitant amount of money for.
Yeah.
Even though he is the main event.
Yeah. The next thing he does is he starts telling a story about his bodyguard, has a sidebar about how his bodyguard's a good singer, has his bodyguard come out, sing for about 2 minutes, and then he comes back. And I don't remember if there was a joke in there somewhere, but he was very clear about the fact that he had a bodyguard there. So, and then the show ended, and it was a terrible end. You're supposed to end on a big joke, right?
Big joke, big closer.
That didn't happen. It was it was probably one of the worst endings to a comedy show I've seen. He stopped and he's like, I just really want to let y'all know, this has been good for me. It's so good to see you guys. I love you all. You're all great. Thank you, Milwaukee. And then he's just like, that was it. And I was like, that's the end of your show? That wasn't funny. Like at all. It's really bad. So that was the show.
That's I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I don't dislike Dave Chappelle. I think Dave Chappelle is extremely talented. I think Dave Chappelle is falling victim to what George Carlin fell victim to in his later career, where it's preachy over funny.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dave Chappelle has never been a setup punchline kind of guy. He's a storyteller. He talks about all kinds of social issues. I like that kind of comedy. I find it very funny at times, but the funny has to be the focus, not the preaching and the message, or else you're a speaker. You're giving a speech. You're not doing comedy. And again, that doesn't mean I disrespect Dave Chappelle or I don't find him funny. I think he's great. But on a couple of the last specials, I'm like, dude, a little more fun. Keep the same topics, but mix in some funny.
Mm-hmm.
And Carlin was the same way. I loved George Carlin. And then he became this cranky old man who just, everything was bad. And there was a lot more preachy than funny. And that's where, I don't get it. And I wouldn't pay $160 to see any comedian, no matter how funny they were. There's not a chance in hell. That's just me.
I feel like I paid about that much for Bill Burr at the Chicago Theater, and that was worth every penny.
Burr's gonna bring the funny. He's a killer. He's a nonstop killer.
I couldn't laugh. I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard for the first 10 minutes of Bill Burr. I was just falling over, just dead. He just killed me dead. Dave had one joke that had me in tears because it was very funny. Near the beginning, again, there's like 3 good jokes I remember. But the rest was, and I think if I had seen the whole show start to finish without having 20 to 30 minutes just thrown out for no reason and having missed maybe 1 or 2 openers, I think that could have changed things. But like when you deal with being in a horde of people for an hour and a half, waiting for what reason and knowing you're an hour late for a show, like when you do that, it kills the vibe.
Yeah.
We got to our seats and we were all pissed off and annoyed.
Yeah, that's no good.
It being halfway into part of it, because we were like, oh, surely they'll start the show late. They didn't start the show late. They just let 3,000 people in late. That's why halfway into Chappelle, there's 10 minutes into Chappelle's set, Hagrid and his motley crew decided to meander over and Karen about their seats. So it was just, well, then of course, we exit, we make our way to the car. And of course, then we sit in traffic then for another hour. It took us 3 hours to get home to Rockford, which is which is a trend. I now am, because I told you about the United Center. It took me 3 hours to get home.
Yeah. Because we go to events, man. That's the key right there.
I'm seeing Guns N' Roses Thursday.
Are you doing it?
At Wrigley Field.
All right.
And a friend has lent us use of his apartment. He's out of town. We're gonna stay at his place in the
Wow.
city, a little bit west of Wrigley, but
Okay.
there's I mean, if there are no Ubers available and we really want to get home, I will go to Cubby Bear and I will get hammered more after the show, and then I'll go to the apartment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be doing something. I'll be in the city. It'll be an
Yeah.
Uber.
There's a lot going on around there.
Yeah. So
There'll be a lot of tattoos to read, a lot of
yeah.
black T-shirts and boots to get stomped by.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
anyway,
So that doesn't, from the outside looking in, I would categorize it as a very disappointing evening. Would I be close to accurate?
I think it was cool to see him, and I love festivals.
I'm going to say this unabashedly. I think Summerfest is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do a phenomenal job up there. I think the grounds are terrific. It's clean. The stuff is permanent, so you don't feel like you're at some cheesy carnival. There's a wide variety. There's music for pretty much anybody. Any taste of music that you have, you can find it at Summerfest. I think it's great. $19 for a mixed drink, you lost me at $10. $8 for a beer, okay, I get it. That's if you're out, in the city drinking, it's like $7 or whatever for a beer. So, all right, that's not bad. The food's always good there. They have good food at Summerfest. There was something. Oh, I should have told you. There was something that I loved. Now I can't remember. It was like a eggplant fries or something. Oh man, they're so good. It's like eggplant Parmesan French fries, but it's eggplant. It's not French fries.
There are a bunch of carts that say chill stuffed pretzels, because like you can get drinks.
Oh,
I guess.
okay.
I thought it said,
like a lemon chill.
I guess.
Okay.
We walked by this thing all day, every time until 11 p.m. I thought it said chili stuffed pretzel. And I'm like, how the hell do you stuff a pretzel with chili?
Well, how did you not stop to find out? How did you not get one if you were that curious?
Well, after we realized my mistake, all of my friends encouraged me to go demand a chili stuffed pretzel, but I didn't. I didn't want to wait in line. Again, I didn't want to wait in line. I'll agree with you. I loved it. I like being outside, being kind of free. It's this feeling of like you're at a show, but you don't have to do anything. There's no etiquette. You can people watch. You can get up and wander. You can check out that person. You can people watch. You can stay for the whole show. You can do, hard drugs. You can, get in gang fights. Huh? Wait, hold on. What?
The last two seem troublesome.
I didn't. That's weird.
I thought you can wander around. You can people watch. That was good. You could stay for the whole show. I agreed with you there. And then you said something about hard drugs and gang fights.
Yeah, that's so weird. I think.
Did you witness a lot of hard drugs and gang fights while you were waiting to get in to see Dave Chappelle preach for an hour and a half?
Freudian slip.
All right.
Freudian slip.
No, I love it because you can, like, I remember the last time we were there when I was working Summerfest, we wandered in and we listened to found some great music because it was just like, oh, let's stop here. And, there's not a lot of people at this one. A band's about to start in 5 minutes. Let's get a beer and sit. And then you're like, oh my God, this is really good music. And then you can, like you said, then you can wander to hear somebody else and you go, oh, these guys blow.
Yeah.
What is this, Summit? And then we got to get out of here.
But the whole experience kind of I figured, there would be an opener at 8 and then you'd see Chappelle around 9:30. That happened. But it did remind me of how much I hate venues saying when a show starts and then not saying what that means. Like Guns N' Roses, it's Thursday at 6:00 is what it says. Show at 6:00. Now I know there's an opener, but I only know that from their newsletter. So does that mean that the doors open at 5 and you get there at 6 and there's an opener and then Guns N' Roses is at 7? Does that mean doors open at 6? The opener starts at 7. Guns N' Roses is at 8. There's no way to know. Casey brought me to a show at the Vic one time and it said show at 8:00 and we showed up at 8, assuming there'd be an opener. There wasn't. It was a really
Oh,
good band that never comes around anymore. That we, and we only missed the first 20 minutes or so. But there was another show we went to at UIC Pavilion when we saw Odessa, and we got VIP tickets so we could enter like an hour early or whatever. We ended up waiting around for 3 hours before Odessa went on because there were like 3 openers, and that was after they'd been open for an hour. It was crazy. It was
oh.
crazy. So why can't venues just say, this is the time the band you paid to see perform will perform? That would be very nice. Doesn't happen. You don't know how many openers there are. You don't know if it means doors or show. None of this is clear, right?
No.
There's no way to
And
know.
Guns N' Roses isn't going on till midnight. You get there at 5, you'll wander in, you'll be stuck in Wrigley and stuck in Wrigleyville, which to me would be like sitting on the surface of hell. Because here's another unpopular hot take. I hate Wrigley Field. I hate going to concerts there. I hate going to ball games there. I haven't been there since they're remodeled, so maybe I just hate it in a new way rather than the old way. But I've seen a number of concerts there, and it blows.
You didn't enjoy urinating in a trough while staring at a person right across from you because you're a horse when you go to a game there?
Right. No, I didn't enjoy that. I don't enjoy an aisle that is a quarter of a mile long. So if you have a seat in the middle of the aisle, you might as well start packing a lunch at the the pathway, and then as you cut across. I hate it. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. I saw Springsteen there a couple times. I saw James Taylor there with Jackson Brown. After one of the Springsteen concerts, or the Springsteen concert, I almost got in a fight at the Red Line stop because people are how would I say it politely? A-holes. And it's I don't like being my thoughts on public transportation anyway. I eschew it whenever I can. I don't like public transportation, which is another reason I don't like Wrigley Field, because you can't drive there. You gotta take public transportation or a dingy ride share. And I'm not doing either one. But we're in line. We're all, I'm with Debbie, and I'm trying to, protect my wife. And this father-son duo of douchebags comes plowing through. There's a million people. Where are you going? And he comes plowing through, and he tries to cut in front of us, and he knocks Debbie into me, and I'm like, mother. And then the old man turns around, and I'm like, really? We're doing this here right now? I was like, no. It was everything that's wrong with Wrigleyville molded into 2 big douche sacks. And that's just Wrigleyville. Then, don't even start me in the friendly confines.
Well, I can't complain about the seats because I'm going to be on the field.
Right on.
So.
I had field seats.
Oh.
For one of the shows. Might have been Springsteen.
Springsteen, I think I remember.
Yeah, it still sucks. Not Springsteen, but being there, some blows. I had nice seats. I had like close to the field, just a few rows up for James Taylor and Jackson Brown. Show was good. Sucks. Oh, I got to go over to Murphy's bleachers. No, I don't. With a bunch of guys with backward hats and, bro tank tops on. Screw it.
I mean, I'm interested to see
You're
what
gonna have fun.
Well, yeah, no, of course. It's Guns N' Roses. Are you kidding? Come on.
You're going to go right down to Paradise City.
Well, yeah, the whole reason I'm going is to do drugs and get in gang fights. Wait, why does it keep going up?
Where are you going?
What
place do you visit? I don't even understand.
Slip. Very strange. No, we're gonna grab dinner beforehand. So here's my plan. I'm like, we'll grab dinner at 5:30, and then because I know there's no opener, so I will plan to get there around 7 on the off chance Guns N' Roses goes on at 7. I don't think they're going on at 7, but that way I'm at least ready, right?
No
and
chance.
we can hear it, right? So we're gonna eat somewhere in Wrigleyville. There's a million places. We'll eat there.
Lots of places.
Meet 5:30, right? Grab a drink, eat. We'll be done around 7, right? If we hear music start at 7, I don't really care about the opener, and I don't want to be in Wrigley Field for 7 hours. So we'll grab another drink where it will only be $8 instead of $24, which it will be at Wrigley, and we'll continue to drink in Wrigleyville, and then go over to the stadium at like 7:30 ish, get there for the start of the show, call it a day. I'm hopefully going to plan this and coordinate it better than the last thing. Now, they are doing COVID immunization. You got to have your vaccine for this show as well now.
Oh, really?
I think it's an Illinois-wide thing. It's pretty much every
Oh,
show on
yeah, you got it. We had to, did we? Yeah, I went to a Sox game Saturday. We had to show it. They
Yeah.
didn't really check.
Oh, yeah, but so that's the plan there. I'm curious to see what the Wrigleyville vibe is like now that they shut down half of the dive bars and replaced them with like $9 taco places. Like Wrigleyville is for very rich people right now. It's
Oh,
not
is that
like,
right?
oh my God, are you kidding? They tore out the Taco Bell and put in a Big Star where it's $4 for a tiny little taco.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, that's that whole remodeling of Wrigley, what is it? They wanted to be Fenway Park.
Extreme gentrification. Extreme gentrification. So
like that.
Well, I don't really care, but I'm curious to see if it's like significantly more douchey, if it's a different kind of douchey, if it's any less douchey. But I do know that I'm going to be spending a lot of money. So I'm glad I didn't spring for a hotel, because a hotel at the field on a concert night is like $600.
Good Lord.
Oh, it's nuts. Yeah. So but I don't think it can be worse than Summerfest. But my wife,
now, is Guns N' Roses going to take your phone too?
If they're worried about someone uploading a video of them playing "Sweet Child of Mine," then something's really wrong. They do have a new single. Have you heard it?
No, I see on there. I've got their website pulled up because I wanted to see if they if it said who the opener was.
They said it in an email, but maybe this was before the pandemic.
Did you are you standing on the field? The general admission standing tickets?
No, I don't think so. Why, are they available?
I don't know.
Why'd you ask?
Well, because I'm looking at the kind of tickets they have.
But what are you looking at?
Guns N' Roses?
The Cubs website, or
no? Like right here, I could get I could buy 2 standing room general admission tickets for, my God, $89.50 plus $25 fee.
What?
Yeah. I went through the Guns N' Roses website. It said rescheduled, buy tickets.
I'm looking right now.
Because I went to Guns N' Roses tour. Then I went to, it's gunsnroses.com.
Well, no, but what is P1?
I don't know.
What is P1 standing, you said?
Yeah.
Where is there? Here we go. View a detailed venue seating chart. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So P1.
Where's P1?
Field standing general admission is in the pit.
That's the pit.
Wait, hold on. My ticket's here. Let me grab that.
Are you sitting in the? Oh, I don't see you moshing. Are you gonna mosh? That's crazy.
I'm gonna be very upset if it's less than $100 for a standing ticket, because I paid a lot of money for these.
You're not a standing ticket, are you?
No, I am Field N.
Field N. Let me see. Well, they don't even have that. That I don't even see.
Yeah, they do. It's FLDN. Oh, yeah. Okay. So
those are not available.
So I am in the. What row am I in? It just says Field N. What the hell's my seat? Oh, here we go. Row 16. Here we go. I'm in row 16 on the field, just off of center, if I remember correctly. I'm basically middle, 18 rows back, which I think is
field what? What's your
Field N?
Oh, those are right. You're right behind the pit there.
Yeah, and if I remember right, the number of the ticket, I think we're 2 seats away from the center.
Oh,
so we're like dead center, 16 rows back, behind the pit tickets, which is phenomenal seats, right?
Those are good seats.
But I paid $250 a pop for these.
Yeah, those are not available anymore.
Okay,
those you can't get those.
But it's funny that you can get in the pit standing for $90, right?
Yeah,
like I paid $250 to sit 16 rows back, and I could have paid less than half the price to stand right in front.
Well, I could now sit in section 5, row 13. So that's over toward It's at the, let's see, if you're looking at the stage, it would be the left side of the stage, not on the side, but like toward the left side. Row 14, seats 13 and 14 for $109.50.
Dude. If you didn't hate Wrigley Field so much, I would tell you you have to go to this show.
Well, if I didn't hate Wrigley Field so much and I didn't have to work that night, I would have gone.
Oh, my God.
And if Debbie wasn't having surgery the next day. There's a lot of ifs and ands.
Oh, that's right.
I got too much going on. Son of a gun.
But
Kiss got rescheduled. So October 16th, boom, I get to rock out with the hottest band in the world.
Well, all right.
I wanted the best. I'm going to get the best.
Is that a song?
That's their intro. You wanted the best. You got the best. The hottest band in the world. Kiss. That's the voiceover for every. That's their introduction, man. That's how it goes.
Well, sweet.
I just found that out though, so now I have to. Oh, good. It's a Saturday night in October. Saturday night, or as I'm going to call it, Rocktober. You know I'm gonna.
Please do.
And you should call it Rocktember.
Oh, man. It's totally rock.
So next week we get to hear another crazy concert story from you.
Let's hope so. Let's hope it's real crazy.
I cannot wait. I loved Appetite for Destruction and Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Then I grew tired of waiting for the spaghetti experiment or whatever it was called.
Chinese Democracy?
Was that it? Wasn't there some other spaghetti thing?
The spaghetti incident.
Yeah, the spaghetti incident and Chinese democracy. I don't know. So I got bored with Guns N' Roses. I got bored with Axl Rose, starting fights backstage and showing up, 12 hours late. It was like, okay. But it would be a fun show. I can't wait to hear your description of the crowd. I'm wondering who will be in the crowd to see Guns N' Roses.
I'm going to look. Wrigley Field concert seating capacity is 40,000?
Yeah.
It always feels like Wrigley Field can seat like 10,000.
No.
My God. What is?
Well, you got to remember, you've got all those people sitting on the field too that aren't there. They don't sit there for a baseball game. All the people on the field are extra seats.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
so that is that. Well, good luck. Have fun. Listen, I hate to do that. I have to cut this short.
No, you had a story.
Well, I've got it written down, but I'm having some distress. And
okay,
it was, but we get, all right. I'm waiting to see if it passes. No, so again, we're going to have a good rock and roll story from you next week, which is going to be fantastic. I was immersed in culture on Sunday, and I will keep this brief, but for Debbie's birthday, we've decided, and you may reach this point at some point, Cody, if you're not already there with your lovely wife, we have enough stuff. We've accumulated a lot of stuff in our life, and I'm not trying to steal George Carlin's bit about stuff, but so we started trying to find gifts that were experiential gifts. And so I had given her tickets because her favorite painting in all the world, and this will be a question I'll ask you, her favorite painting in all the world is Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. Yes. Do you have a favorite painting? This came up after later that day when Molly, Debbie, and I were in the car. I said, "Oh, Molly, Mom has a favorite painting." And Molly said, "Yes, of course, it's Starry Night. I know. That's why we went. We went to the immersive Van Gogh exhibit." I won't bury the lead.
I'm going to that next Thursday.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
You will love it. You will love it. I won't ruin it for you. We'll talk about it after you go.
All right.
So after you go, we'll talk about it. But do you have a favorite painting? Not a Van Gogh. It doesn't have to be a Van Gogh painting.
I know. My favorite painter is Van Gogh, but I don't have a favorite individual painting that I can think of.
Well, I knew only Van Gogh's, the big ones, Starry Night, the water lilies, sunflowers, the bedroom, stuff like that. I found a Van Gogh painting that I fell in love with that I had never seen before. And we'll talk about it after you go. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh, all right.
But the The exhibit is phenomenal. You guys are going to have a great time. It was, I'm not a huge art buff, but I'm a big immersion buff. I like to be immersed in things.
Sure.
I like things to surround me, my senses to be bombarded from all sides, except my sense of smell. So thankfully, this was not in scratch-o-vision, but it was unbelievable. Pro tip: if you're driving, and I don't know if you're driving or not, if you're driving, the garage right across is not on Spot Hero, but if you go to if you put in the name of the garage, it's on parking.com, and I got a great rate for parking.
All right.
So it was like $11.
Good to know.
For so that was good.
I think we're gonna Metro in.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But where are you gonna Metro to? This place is
yeah, it's on Michigan. I know. It will get to
no,
Ogilvy.
it's not on Michigan. It's over at like Clark and North.
Oh.
It's right by the History Museum, right by the lake, by the Cardinals' house. Yeah. Germania Place or something.
Okay, we're gonna drive.
Yeah. So
maybe.
I'm trying to where would you Metro into?
I mean, Ogilvy.
Well, but that's gonna be a long Uber ride from Ogilvy.
Yeah.
You can take a couple buses.
Don't want to do that. Now with a baby.
No.
We're bringing the baby.
Oh, the baby is gonna get immersed?
Yeah.
There were some babies there. There was all age ranges.
I've heard. Stroller friendly.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
It was very nice. Yeah. I think your son will enjoy it. He seems very cultured.
Oh my gosh.
For a 1-year-old. He's as cultured as any 3-year-old. He's very advanced when it comes to his taste in art.
Marta just threw up IMDb link in the chat to an episode of Doctor Who featuring Vincent Van Gogh. I've seen that one. Very good.
Really?
Yeah.
See, now Van Gogh does not have my favorite paint. Well, now the new one that I found, I really do like. But my favorite painting of all time is Nighthawks by Edward Hopper. It's the diner picture where it's just 3 people in a diner.
Oh, really?
In the middle of the night. Yeah, I love it. I think it's I just think it's fantastic. So that's my favorite painting.
Huh.
Yeah. Look at that. Peel back the layers. I'm cultured to the core, gosh darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is not Starry Night, I'll tell you that much.
My Chris Flanagan, my cousin Jim's wife, who was a wonderful host and mother of the bride at the wedding in Colorado, said she's disappointed I'm not channeling Van Gogh with candles around my hat. I do love that self-portrait that he does. There's one, and this is a pretty famous one too. He's wearing a big straw hat and there's candles on it. Mm-hmm. That one I really enjoyed. Tom says dogs playing poker is the best. I can't argue that point, Tom. It's a fine piece of art. I don't know if it holds up as no, it's a classic. Everybody knows the dogs playing poker. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I don't care for that one.
You don't like that? You don't like the dogs playing poker?
Nah.
What about Washington crossing the Delaware? That famous. Do you like that painting?
No. I like
American
the one with
Gothic.
No, there's one where they used a bunch of drugs and there's gang fights. What is it?
Oh, that's I don't know.
Oh, that's Summerfest. There's a painting called
Summerfest. Big painting of Summerfest. A mural? Is it a gang mural? Then I was so imbued with culture. I thought to myself, you know what? I want to go see that Banksy exhibit, the art of Banksy. And then I looked up the ticket price. I'm going to just look up art of Banksy on the internet and look at his pictures there. That's what I'm going to do.
We did a story on Curiosity Daily that people are feel more emotionally moved by and can better remember art that they've seen in a museum versus on the internet.
Course.
So.
Oh, sure. Well, wait till you get immersed, man. You and the baby are going to be crazy.
I can't wait.
You're going to have I can't wait to talk to you about it. So on that note, we will stop talking about it because I don't want you to get, to do that. And just a quick, I'm going to save this story. I'm going to save this one.
Okay.
Till next week.
All right.
So we're going to do that.
That's good.
That's good. Anything else you need to get off your chest?
No, I was going to say that my wife and my friends that came to Summerfest with me were extraordinarily gracious and insisted they had a good time in spite of everything. They are very nice people, wonderful people,
Yes.
tremendous people. I appreciate them greatly. I am very lucky to have a wife that appreciated and recognized that I was just trying to do something nice that I thought would be fun. And it became more of an adventure than a simple enjoyment. But adventures are okay sometimes too, as long as they're not all the time. So
true. Well, I'm hoping for better things for you on Thursday, as you rock out with your, I don't know, whatever, out. Put in your own rhyme there. I can't say that here.
Drugs and gang fights.
Yeah. If you get into any gang fights while you're on hard drugs, please call, text, send me a picture. Then talk about it on your wonderful daily Curiosity Daily podcast, which people can get at curiositydaily.com, where I don't know if you've done any episodes on hard drugs or gang fights, but I hope that they will be coming down the pike at some point.
Yeah, we should.
That would be great. If you are watching this now, you can catch me tomorrow night at Zany's Rosemont as part of the big showcase. I will be there. And I also want to thank everybody at the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation. I emceed their big Ride for Kids Day event out at the Kane County Cougar Stadium Sunday morning. Trying to get bikers to laugh at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning is a little rough, but they enjoyed it. So I was doing that and spreading the word and helping them out. So it was a great time to be out there. And that's it. I got nothing else except extreme intestinal discomfort.
Wow. All right then.
All right then.
I've been there. Let's leave it at that.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends, follow the podcast. We are everywhere that podcasts are sold. Go to get Cody's Curiosity Daily podcast at curiositydaily.com. We will talk to you all again next week. Bye, Cody.
Bye.
Bye.